Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for all the censors out there that guard the community guidelines, I want to clarify that 100% at the New Health Conversation, the only thing we ever state is medical facts, so we don't give people opinions. We have nothing for sale on our website, so there's not some trick to get people to go there. Everything we say is medically backed and proven. We make no claims. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world, 20 shows on public broadcasting, and over 1,500 live lectures around the world. I'm a researcher, so everything that we present is backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, not opinions. So we just want you to know that we don't make any claims at all. I've had some discussion and some from some of the censors sometimes when we post things that they maybe misinterpret, but the only thing we ever post is backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So hello everybody. Yeah, how I lost 40 pounds, kept it off for 23 years, no dieting, no counting calories. So imagine losing 20 pounds in 18 days, shedding another 20 in the next few weeks, and keeping every single ounce off for 23 straight years without starving or insane workouts. Not impossible. Watch this to steal my secret. You're watching it now. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've been a nutritional researcher for more than 23 years. You'll notice behind me, and there's nothing for sale on our website, my 4 best-selling books and a 5th book that just came out that's going to all the medical doctors, I think, in North America. And I wrote a chapter in that book. I didn't write the whole book, but I wrote the chapter on weight loss and health. So I want you to understand that everything I'm going to share with you today comes from medical proof. Nothing, zero of what I talk about is my opinion. There are plenty of people on social media where you can get opinions. We're going to give you facts. We're going to show you how in the world did I lose 40 pounds and keep it off. But I lost it in about 7 weeks. So let's show you some of the other people that'll be of probably some interest to you. This is amazing. This is a young woman who lost 21 pounds, 38.78 inches in 30 days. Not only that, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Can we get some more taps on the screen? Can we get some more likes? If you like the content, just tap on the screen. It's not about me, it's about the content. And wow, we've got lots of people. Unfollow Lexi Rose, Dina, I believe it is. Nerman, Marta, Lady Cash, KV, James, David, Bell. Hello, David. Hello, all of you. So listen, let's get right into it because I know that's the thing. Everybody's impatient and they want to know what can we do. Oh, a lot of people saying hi. Noah, Noah, wow, okay. So anyway, this was not invented by me or us or my team. It was invented by what are considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Let me get to the point. Counting calories, as of right now on this podcast, you can't pretend that we didn't tell you counting calories is dead. It's over. It's finished. Do you know there has never, ever been a study on calories in, calories out, where people kept the weight off long term? The researchers who created this have done 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet you could imagine, calories in, calories out. And after all that time, they really came to one conclusion, that counting calories is ridiculous because the human body has no idea what a calorie even is. Do any of you know the definition of a calorie? I've actually had kind of 9.5 people get it right. The last podcast I did, I helped someone get the rest of the answer, but it wasn't really totally correct. See, you're counting calories on all these diets, and then I would say to you, why? Again, can we get some more taps on the screen to get the likes going? So what you're going to find here that's going to blow your mind is several things. One, this is a nutritional system. I'll explain to you what that is in a minute. It also, first and foremost, is a detox. And these researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, and muscle analysis, proving that this was assisting the body in removing the chemicals that were storing inside our body. We'll get into all that in a few minutes as well. But the main principle behind this was pretty, well, hopefully it's easy to understand. They said we've got to abandon calories and go to a new concept. And the concept would be we want to find foods and we'll locate them, meaning the researchers, not us, that have, maybe the goal would be, can we give you less food and give you more nutrition? That's a simple way to say it. And how did they accomplish it? Well, first, what they did first, they created a grocery list that you actually take to the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they gave serving sizes. That's very important as we move forward. The other 70% of the food that she ingested as part of this came not from the United States or North America, but other researchers who'd gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition. So part of the nutritional system was these complementary or completely opposite foods, because our food in North America is becoming really nutritionally insufficient. So the reason that they used these other nutrients from around the world was to fortify the foods you also would be eating, because 30% of what you're going to eat would come from your grocery store. The other 70% from these exotic, let's call them the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Okay, so now you have part of it. But to create the system, what else do you need? So now you've got the raw material, but now how do they consume it? To round this out, so 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these world's most perfect meals for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, yeah, and a fourth meal, not a snack, after dinner from these world's most perfect meals. So 5 days a week, four meals a day. 2 days a week, they did something called, that's going to blow your mind. They did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. It was fasting with nutrition. It wasn't a fast. It wasn't water fasting. It wasn't time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store and only these exotic foods or world's most perfect meals. But then she ate them 8 times a day. Yeah, she was eating 8 times a day. So diabetics, because they've commented in here before that they're worried about insulin spikes. No one had an insulin spike. And people that weighed 300 pounds, nobody was hungry. Now, how's that possible? Because, see, the whole thing that's upside down on this whole deal about losing weight is counting calories. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. As a matter of fact, I still don't see anybody being able to give me the definition of a calorie. I'm not surprised, because like I said, we have I call it 9.5 people got the definition of a calorie right in a year of research and these podcasts that we're doing. This is going to change the world. This is going to make every diet out there obsolete. Because all the diets are based on some form of counting calories. It just doesn't work. So what they did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis. At the end of 30 days, people's hunger had come down 41%. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides had all plummeted. She really lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise allowed. We're going to get into more of that in a moment, but I want to talk about the medical results. The main reason to do this is not to lose the weight. That's a given. That's for us, that's like the booby prize. I know for all of you to lose 5 pounds a week, it would blow your mind, because I'd love for anybody to support me. If you're going to lose 20 pounds, be honest, before you run this podcast, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds, especially with no exercise? I'd love to know. So let's keep going. So in addition, the other things that they saw, like I said, the research did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. And what did they find? They found that they measured it, that herbicides and pesticides and chemicals were coming out of the body. That's what you want to have happen. Because, see, what we're doing, or what the body's doing to protect us from the chemicals, is they come in the body, first presented to the liver, but our livers is now so overwhelmed, they estimate 25% of us have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, not from drinking alcohol, but from the fat in our liver. So what happens when the liver can't handle it anymore, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it in your visceral fat. Your visceral fat's the fat around your organs. If you look at her stomach on day 1 there, you can see the protruding stomach. That's the fat cells expanding. Here's one of the big lies I want to blow up. There's no such thing as burning fat on a diet or on exercise. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and those fat cells either expand or contract. Well, sadly, in this case, the body's using, to protect us, the fat cell to store the chemicals in. Well, but in the study, what they proved, that this protocol was assisting the body in removing the chemicals, therefore the fat shrank, and in its place, they were building, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass in a month with no exercise? Are you kidding me? Does this seem like Ripley's Believe It or Not? I bet it does. The main thing, and can we get some more taps? We're almost at 300 already. So Tammy joined, Jimmy joined, user 622 joined, user 989 joined. I'm still holding out hope that somebody will give me the definition of a calorie. The thing that I want to impress upon you is, think about this simple concept. Why in the world would you think a diet works? Here's why it can't work. The body runs, you're alive because of 3 things. 1, air, 2, water, and a third you need a minimum of, and it's not calories, it's nutrition. So the reason all your diets fail you, by the way, all the research says 2/3 of you will gain more weight than you lost on any diet you're on currently. I'm sorry, I'll show you the big studies in New England Journal of Medicine, in Medicare, in Harvard Medical School just saying, stop counting calories. This is lunacy. It's insanity. I mean, Johns Hopkins Medical School, oh, I've got it right here. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. In 4.5 years. They estimate 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. Does that sound to any of you like diets are working, or they're going to work, or they're ever going to work? It's just, it's like we've been told the world's flat. We know it's not, but we can't prove it's not. And these researchers, after 40 years, they figured it out. Look, how many of you would be excited to lose? Again, I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? You can get some more taps. We're stuck at 298 likes. We want to get more likes than that. Wow, loser 98, not user, happy and healthy. Monica, Lola, Why Mummy, Alexandra, Barbush, Simply Beautiful, and Diane Beauvoir, I believe that is. Ah, that's a nice name. And then Salam Hager. I'm always amazed that fewer people want to ask me questions. I don't know if they're scared of me, they don't like me, they think I'm going to argue with them. You can have a different opinion. But the challenge with that is unless you have a peer-reviewed human trial study, there's no discussion, because peer-reviewed human trial studies are the last line in medical research. So, wow, lots more people coming on. Silva, who else? Sambos, Akita, Gee, Gus. Wow, a lot of people must be interested in figuring out how in the world they can lose weight. Now, let me show you a couple more people, and then we'll come back and go over again what she did. But how about Julie, everybody? 35 pounds in 37 days. 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. But look at how much she shrank. That's the detox aspect of this. That's the body pulling the chemicals out of the fat cells, and the fat cells are shrinking, and in its place, the body's making lean muscle mass with no exercise. She wasn't allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. You know, fitness trainers come on here and think I'm lying or making up. We don't make up stuff. And you can't make up stuff in a peer-reviewed human trial study. You can't do it. I mean, there's nothing to edit, right? It's in the public domain. Now, this is another amazing story. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. Wait till you see this, everybody. How about 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. I mean, people, I understand you'd say it's not the same woman, but it's my daughter's friend. My friend's daughter. I mean, I guess if you thought we were that sinister that we'd Photoshop the picture of one of my friends, we don't need to, because you got to understand. See right above her head there in blue where it says the New Health Conversation? That's the free medical website where you can go. There's nothing to buy there. Nothing. Zero. The only thing on that website is the medical proof. And if you go there and you like what you see, well, first of all, we won't contact you if you go there. Be very clear. It's a medical website available to the world. It's like a medical library on nutrition, diet, and health with the medical proof. And if you do like what you see, you can scroll. Notice it says free coaching. People ask me, how much is the coaching? Zero. How much is the initial consultation? Zero. How much does it teach us to maintain? Zero. We got coached. We all got coached, all these coaches. And what's happening is a lot of people like say they went on it for themselves and they, lost weight and felt great. And all of a sudden their sister, brother, cousin. And so we need help. We need people to help us coach. We do. So far we're okay. But we think as this thing gets bigger and bigger that, more people that want to help us. And we're stuck at only 298 likes. Come on, people, let's get tapping on that screen. Let's get tapping on the screen and see if we can get those like numbers way up. And hello, Lexi Rose. Hello, Nyla. Hello, Fiji. I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce your name. I don't mean to do that. I hate doing that. Hello, Feather Demi, Dwight, Kay Beasley. And now I know we've all been told, when you get older, it's really hard to lose weight. Wait till you see this next picture. This guy's about 65 years old. Look at this. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? Least important part of his story. Look at his lab work. See it there in green? A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, everybody. 30 days. There we go. We're getting some more taps. We're up to 299. We can crack 300 here in just a second. Just tap on that screen if you like the content that you're hearing. Tap on the screen. Now let's come back again. So let's start over. I know there's a lot of new people that have come on here and they're all curious, how in the world did she do it? How did she do it? But you're not asking me, but I'm assuming that's what you're thinking. So let's back up. It was invented by who? The number one, well, the number one nutrition weight loss research physiologist in the world. He and his team at Skidmore College in New York. They're the ones that invented this. But they'd done 40 years of research. Did you hear me? 40 years, 100 studies on human beings, they're called peer-reviewed human trial studies. And the thing that frustrated them after 40 years, 2/3 of the people on all these diets gained more weight than they lost. And the fallacy was everything that they analyzed, they weren't diets they had created, they were analyzing for other people. Well, they said after 40 years they said we need to abandon counting calories and look for something different. So there's something different, and this is how this works. What they did is they said our goal would be, can we give you less food but select foods with much higher nutrition? See, your body doesn't count calories. I don't know who's telling you to count calories. It's ridiculous. You must well be counting sheep because your body has no idea what a calorie is. So these people always want to argue with me about it. So, well, it's the energy in the calorie. The calorie doesn't have anything. It's a measurement. How could it have energy? It's ridiculous. What has energy is the fuel inside your fat cell or your muscles. That's it. So they put together a food list. And they were very specific not to have calorie counting involved. What they did, they gave people serving sizes. Very important to the way they did this. Don't worry about being hungry. You're not going to be hungry because you've never experienced nutrition at these levels. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So 30% of the food that she bought, or you'd buy, sorry, she got the food, I think, for free. You'd go to the grocery store, but only like whatever you spent last month, figure 25 to 30%, that's all you're going to spend this month, because the serving sizes they're going to give you are much smaller than you used to, and you're going to buy proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but no calorie counting. I will, Bill, and just give me a few minutes, okay? So anyway, the thing is that was 30% of what she consumed. What about the other 70%? Well, the other 70% was actually from other researchers who'd spent 20 years going around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition. So now they had part of the this nutritional system, because it wasn't just what they ate, then it was when they ate, how much they ate, when they ate. We're going to go over that right now. Okay, but I want you to be clear. 30% of the food that you would buy, you're going to buy directly from the grocery store. The other 70%, you're going to buy from those researchers. You don't buy anything from us. You don't buy from the researchers who invented this, right? Those two foods then were put together in a completely new way of eating that was part of the nutritional system. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. You heard me, 4 meals a day, starting with what the researchers call these exotic foods around the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint, which is the only thing the body cares about, right? That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, the world's most perfect meal. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. And you know what? The U.S. Patent Office gave them a registered trademark of this new way of eating on this nutritional system. So 5 days, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Now, don't freak out. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food at all from the grocery store. 0 food. Only these exotic, the world's most allowed to exercise. Oh no, we're not having this happen again, are we? Okay, I need to hold on just 1 second. We're having technical difficulties. Let's see, start, stop. I'm not quite sure what happened. And so the bottom line is that this is going to change everything that we thought about eating, etc. Because in addition to the weight loss, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. if you can even believe that. That's just completely crazy. So the thing that I think you'd want to focus on is you can go to the website. Can anybody tell me, you can read it, the New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website to go to. There's nothing there to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof. And if you do like what you see, then you can scroll down and you get a free coach. Now let me show you the website. So if you all wanted to go to Google or whatever search engine, type in the New Health Conversation. See it right there. Watch this. It'll take you to the website. There's the website. And there's nothing on the site to buy except the medical proof, including number one, is a podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world, the number one person. And he'll tell you they, as the top researchers in the world for weight loss, will never use traditional diets ever again after doing this. That's a pretty strong statement. He says it, not me. I'd love for anybody, I love interaction. On the last live I did, we had all kinds of people that were commenting, good comments, questions, etc. So who would like to ask me a question about any of these? I mean, how in the world did April lose 60 pounds in 3 months with no exercise? And it's the same woman. I know a lot of you think we photoshopped and it's a different woman. It's not a different woman. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat the definition of a calorie. Pretty simple question. Because if you don't know what a calorie is, why in the world would you be counting calories to lose weight? Because you know who doesn't count calories to lose weight? Your own body. Does everybody understand this? Does this make sense? Do you understand what we're talking about here? A lot of people joined us here. Kim, Munden, Figio, and Plot, Kina. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name, and I really apologize in advance. I'm not trying to be flippant in any way. And then how does a guy 65 years old with, hold on, let me pull it up here. How does he lose 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month and lowers his A1C, blood, from 8.4 to 6.4, and triglycerides from 242 to 124 in 30 days with no exercise? How's that possible? Well, this is the same thing you asked the other day. It's just a repeat. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure, Miss Betty, what's your point? These are brand new people on here. I mean, I'm not quite sure what your point is. Did you go to the website, Miss Betty? Did you watch the interview with the number one nutritional researcher in the world? Were you able to do that? Did you have time to do it? But again, I'd like you just to clarify, that's an interesting comment. There's brand new people on here right now. Every day there's brand new people from around the world. They've never heard this story before. So that's why I'm repeating it, because it's well worth. Oh, okay. And what did you think? Hi, Margie. Hello, Silver Poodle. Hello, Emil. Hello, Winner's Mindset. Ness. No, I'm just curious what you thought, Miss Betty. That's important. Oh, Rivera, I'm saying hello to you. I'm not sure the other day if you saw Miss Betty. Did you see Mary here? 200 pounds in a year, and she's kept it off, and there's no loose skin, etc. There's no equivalent to this on the planet. There just isn't. So who else would like to ask me a question? Well, look at her. Where's the loose skin, everybody? She doesn't have any. So, I think you're talking about the question I asked the other day is what's the definition of a calorie? Well, no one's still gotten it right, Miss Betty, if that's one of the things you were talking about. So let's see, George and Kelly and user 663, lots of people coming on. I think that's maybe what you were referring to. I could be wrong. It's cool. But I'm just curious, if you did go to the website, what did you think? If you watched the interview with the number one nutritional researcher in the world who said, you heard him say he would never recommend a traditional diet to anybody ever again. That's the world's leading authority. I kind of think I'm following what he's telling me. User 742, hello. Monica, Nyla, River at 0007. Ah, cool. Danny SM Artist. Wow, we got some unusual hashtags or handles, whatever we're talking about. So who else would like to ask me a question about how she did this? Because she wasn't on a diet, she didn't count calories, and she was not allowed to exercise and still managed 21 pounds and 38.75 inches in just 30 days. So I'm just really curious. Lily One joined and Velma joined. And let's see, I think I've covered everybody that I can see who's coming on. But of the new people coming on, who would like to know how she did this? Because I'm more than happy to run you through exactly what they did. And also, you also have the backup, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website where you can go to. And we won't contact you if you go there, I promise you. We don't do that. But if you go there and you like what you see, you scroll down and you get a free coach and you take it from there. The coaching is 100% free. There's no charge for coaching. So George Anstom, I guess. George Anstom. Huh. I think that's right. Or Georgia Anstom, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Invite Dr. Okay, let me see if this is going to work now. I'm going to try to invite you on, doctor. Let's see. Okay, I see you there. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Are you able to hear me? I can see you. Let's see if I do this. Hold on. Okay, the live creator declined. Okay, well, I was Georgiana. Okay, great, great. I hate mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry, I had no disrespect. I was doing my best. Mindy Berger, that's an easy one for me to remember. But again, any of you, would you like to know how in the world she did this and why it's not a diet, why it's not about counting calories, and why it's going to change the world, make every diet in the world obsolete? Would anybody like to know about that? I hope you do. Otherwise, I'm wasting my great insight. Thank you. Shut it off. Keep it off. But who else would like to ask me a question? I wish I could. Let's see. I'm not sure who it was that was trying to come on, but I tried to let you in and then you declined. Let's see. Nyla, followers, follow. Yeah, I don't know what happened. There was a doctor that I think was, how much muscle do people put on during the first 30 days? 6 to 9%. 6 to 9% is the average in the first 30 days. With no exercise allowed, everybody. They wore Fitbits to prove they're not exercising. We're only at 309 likes, everybody. Come on, let's tap on that screen. The last one I did, shredded off, had 27,000 likes. That's my all-time record by almost 10,000. So I guess at least some people are paying attention to what we're talking about because we're giving only medical proof. We don't give opinions. We don't make statements. None of that. So again, who else would like to ask me a question? And the doctor that tried to come on, I was trying to let you in. And then it said you declined. I invited you and then it said you declined. So don't think I was trying to not let you in. I'm open to other opinions, of course. Who else would like to ask me a question? Wow, I'm getting stumped with a lot of questions. So they're asking me about toxins, and it just so happens there's a new medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S for stress. And you and me and everybody, including Shredded Off and every one of us, we're storing chemicals in our body. What happened in the studies is they did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis, but it was the blood, stool, urine, and fat where they proved that this was helping the body. Remember, it's the body detoxing you. It's not this. There's no product on the market that detoxes you, but it can facilitate the natural detox process in all of us. What people need to do is this, that when everybody went to sleep last night, as long as you didn't eat too late, once your body all but stopped digestion, your body automatically turns on a massive detox mechanism inside all of us. It's called autophagy. It's when the body gets rid of the dead cells and any other remnants, because you don't want those dead cells laying around because they can mutate and turn into cancer cells. So it's very important this autophagy process goes on over the course of the night. What the researchers did, they felt that there was a way they could recreate that by essentially giving people tiny amounts of food but large amounts of nutrition. And that's what you do 2 of the days a week. You do something called intermittent nutritional Nutritional fasting, not fasting, water fasting, etc. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world that you eat 8 times a day. You're eating about every hour and a half. No one goes hungry. No one's hungry because it's fasting with nutrition, a novel new concept that is so powerful. So to answer your question, first the body every night, but the body's not removing toxins at night from what we can tell. It's removing the dead cells. But this protocol essentially is allowing you to create the detox while you're still awake. It's amazing. It's so much more than just weight loss. We're stuck at 309 likes, everybody. Come on, we got to hurry because my last podcast, I got 27,000 likes. So maybe I suck later in the day. I don't know what it is. I think this is my 4th podcast today, actually. But I'm just kidding, everybody. Of course, I appreciate any like that you have because it means that the information is of value to you. See, we don't have anything to sell you on the website. We don't sell you anything anyway, but you're buying either 30% of the food from your grocery store or the other 70% from these other researchers who've gone around the world. Literally, they've gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. And they created this nutritional system. Notice I didn't say diet because it's not a diet. Because if you understand a system is made up of many individual parts to create the whole. That's how this worked. Because only 30% of the food she got, and by the way, shred it now, this is a whole new way I'm explaining it. So tell me what you think about it if you have enough time to hang around to listen to me. So what we're talking about is the world's first nutritional system. So this isn't some lotion, potion, pill, etc. See, the problem with even supplements are what I call a single point of reference, meaning, like, for example, if you have a sprained knee, you can take chondroitin and other things to help with the, say, inflammation. Let's take a diabetics, for example. So a diabetic can take whatever diabetic meds they can, and it lowers blood sugar. But it does nothing for cholesterol. It does nothing for high blood pressure. It does nothing for anything else. But this protocol somehow is affecting, it's really a cellular detox. That's a good way to think about it. But it's part of a system approach. So 30% from your grocery store, fats, proteins, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, no calorie counting. The researchers were very specific. They only wanted serving sizes because they'd done 40 years of research on counting calories and it never worked. So they said, let's abandon counting calories and only concentrate on nutrition. That's what they did. The other 70% came, like I said, from these other researchers who've gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to bring back these foods with huge amounts of nutrition. So now they had 2 of the parts. But the third part that was the most important was there's 2 more parts. The consumption model. How did these people consume this? So they got a registered trademark on a new way of eating. You heard me. U.S. Patent Office gave them a registered trademark. It's called protein pacing, and it's broken into 2 sections. 5 days a week, until you get to your goal, by the way. This isn't forever. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You'd start with what the researchers refer to as the world's most perfect meals from those nutrients from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represent these huge amounts of nutrition. They had for breakfast, that was what she had. Lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods or these world's most perfect meal from around the world. What they found was that the spacing of the eating, called protein pacing, was everything. Because they tried. They took the same amount of nutrition, gave them 50% at lunch and 50% at dinner. It didn't work. Well, it didn't work to this extent anyway. Let me just say that. Then 2 days a week, they did something that's crazy. No food from the grocery store. What? No, slow down. They did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, like I said, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. So now you had this nutritional system that was boistered by what? By these world's most perfect meals throughout all 7 days, but most importantly on the protein, when you were having 2 regular meals, there's not enough nutrition based on the serving size that you would have gone into starvation mode, which is what you don't want to do. So they put together this systematic approach with these different combinations. And look at the results. 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. Do you know on this, like, for example, on the intermittent nutritional fasting days, and they did measure on those days after 48 hours, blood, stools, fat, and muscle, and urine, sorry, blood, stool, urine, and fat. Sorry, I missed one. and prove that this is removing chemicals from the body. Nobody was hungry. In a month's time, hunger went down 41%, which isn't surprising. Because if you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories, you're hungry for nutrition. Period. End of the story. It's not up for debate, right? And then the other things I saw, inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. It came down 25% in a month. No diet has ever produced anything like this. So these people that want to come in and argue with me about calories in, calories out, number one, that's ridiculous because the body can't count calories. But there's never been one of those diets that's produced any evidence that it lowers inflammation, and certainly not detoxing the body. It's just nonsense. It's just chatter. A lot of chatter. Maybe they like hearing themselves talk. I had someone earlier today challenge me about, well, dieting is about thermodynamics. Really? No, because thermodynamics relates in physics to what's called a closed loop system. The human body is an open loop system. So right away, that's just nonsense. They're arguing something. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. They sound like they do. Look, I've been a researcher for 23 years. I understand. I've worked with some of the top medical doctors, geneticists, molecular biologists, nutraceutical chemists, nutraceutical research in the world. None of it's my research. My job as a researcher is to find the research and bring it to you, and then you get to make a decision. You understand, if you go to that website, the New Health Conversation, right above my name, nobody will call you. How do you get rid of strong sugar cravings? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. All right, Georgiana. Good, I got it right. You get rid of the sugar cravings because what you have to understand right now, don't get mad at me, you're what's called, and this is a new term for some of you, you're what's called metabolically inflexible, which means right now you're relying on sugar and simple carbs, whether you know it or not. And when you rely on that without the ability to break it, that's what you're going to crave all the time. Do you know in 4 or 5 days, Georgiana, people's cravings like chocolate, gone. Because this moves you from being metabolically inflexible to becoming metabolically flexible, which means you're not relying on sugar and simple carbs for fuel anymore. Because keep in mind, if you don't have enough nutrition, your body wants fuel. And the easiest fuel to get is sugar, but it's very short-lived. So you use it up real quick and then you want some more sugar. That's where your craving comes from. But imagine, can you imagine your craving's gone in a few days and in a month your hunger goes down 41%? Can you even imagine that? We see it all the time. See, the key to this is sustainability, Georgiana. It's maintenance. It's all about being able to have you keep the weight off for the rest of your life. That picture you're looking at is 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. Georgiana, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. How amazing is that? And part of the reason you would talk to a coach, they're going to help you with that as well. Georgiana, the coaching's free. Only thing you have to do, if you decide to, go to the web. Can you see, Georgiana, let me make sure, can you read the website, the New Health Conversation? Can you read that? Because if you can read it, that's where you want to go. I'll show you even easier. Go to the web, type in the New Health Conversation, and you'll see the website will come up. There's nothing to buy on that website. Click on there, sorry. Look, there's the website. Look, Georgiana. There's no buy buttons. There's nothing to buy. I mean, that's all the medical proof, including the module number 1 there is an interview with the world's #1 weight loss nutrition researcher who said they're done with diets. They're done with traditional diets. This gets rid of cravings. This gets rid of everything. I mean, and Georgiana, if you don't mind, how much weight are you looking to lose? And maybe have you tried other things? And again, like I said, maybe you lost weight and you gained it all back, because that's what's happening to everybody. Only 2/3 of the people are ending up weighing more than when they started. And you look at my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, 60 in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. How crazy is that? Okay, so look at, I didn't know that, Georgiana. I'm not a mind reader. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. So Georgiana, I'll tell you right now, Georgiana, in the first 4 days, you'll probably lose 6 to 8 pounds just in the first 4 days. In the first month, you're going to probably lose 25 pounds. I'm serious. So 50 pounds, maximum 3 months. Maximum. Georgiana, if not, what diet would you go on that could even give you the hope You know what it's like on diets, Georgiana. My mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I'm not saying you were. She weighed a lot more than you do. And my mother did about every diet that there was. And she never could break that addiction. She was starving herself all the time, diet after diet after diet after diet. She called me up, Georgiana, 24 years ago. And I hope no one ever has to have this conversation. My mom said, you know, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I'd give anything to spend one day thin. I said, well, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, Georgiana, massive heart attack and stroke. I loved my mom. It didn't matter that she was obese. I mean, but I went through fat shaming. I saw all that stuff. Part of the reason I'm so motivated to be here to potentially help you and everybody that'll listen. I hate diets. I do. I hate them. My mom, I believe my mom dieted herself to death, Georgiana, believe it or not. I believe she dieted herself to death. So I'm very adamant against diets. And now we have all the medical proof proving that there's no way that a traditional diet counting calories can work in the long run. So Georgiana, how excited would you be if just even in the first 4 days, you're down 6 or 8 pounds, and probably the first week, you'll probably be down 10, 12 pounds, 20, 25 pounds in the first month. And what's so interesting about this, notice it didn't slow down because she lost 60 pounds in 3 months. So she averaged about 5 pounds a week. How excited would you be to lose 5 pounds in a week? I love the reaction of women because it's like, this is like out of orbit. This is like in a different planet, right? Who else would like to ask me a question? So Georgiana, does that make very happy, I'm sure. And Georgiana, are you clear? If you want, the website's right above your head there, the New Health Conversation, and make sure it's the New Health Conversation, everybody, or you won't go to the right website. So Georgiana, does this all make sense to you? Do you understand why you should be at least guardedly optimistic? Because nothing's 100% of course, but I need to tell all of you, 30% of whatever you spent last month on groceries, 30% you're going to spend this month on this protocol: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables with serving sizes. That's one of the reasons why you're going to buy so much less food than you used to, because it's all about the nutritional density. But the other 70% of what you're going to spend from these researchers who got these foods around the world, they will give you, Georgiana, in the first month, 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. Anybody, I'd love to put in the chat, show me a diet like that. The reason I tell you, if you do decide you want a free coach, Georgiana, it says 100% money back guarantee. But I want to clarify for people, the 30% of what you're going to buy from the grocery store, you'd have to negotiate with them. That has nothing to do with us. Isn't that just great? Good. Yes, and I will take a look at it. Good, for your benefit. I would absolutely recommend that, right? So, we're at 672 likes. Come on, everybody. Let's get some taps on the screen, taps on the screen, taps on the screen. So shred it or keep it off. What do you think about that new thing about the nutritional system? Because that's what it is. It's a system. Think about it. A car is a system. Does it matter if you're in your garage when you start the car? You better put one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. And then does it matter if you're in reverse or forward? Airplane. What's an airplane? It's a system. So why wouldn't nutrition be a system? This is what it is, everybody. It's not a diet. It's not an eating plan. It's a nutritional system of getting you maximum amounts of nutrition in your body in the least amount of food, but in the most efficient way, spread out over protein pacing. Does everyone get this? Do you understand how big this is and why it works and why it's so cool and why it's like so exciting for all of you and me? I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. 23 years ago. And I don't think I ever want to go back there. I don't. I'm never going back. I'm never going back. Yes, I will take a look at it. Thank you. Okay, good, Georgianne. Who else would like to ask me a question? And can we get some more taps on the screen? We're stuck at 673. Really? Is this information of value to all of you, any of you, etc.? But I still think this is one of the most amazing stories. Look, he's about 65 years old, 40.8 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his A1C. It's 84, 8.4 to 6, not 84. If it's 84, he's not on earth. Sorry about that. I misspoke. That happens sometimes. A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. Hi, Kels. I mean, look at his stomach, everybody. That's 30 days with no exercise, no sit-ups, no anything. I don't know. I just think it's just, we have the most amazing opportunity, us as coaches, to we all got coached, first of all. We didn't know how to do this. And we're now paying it forward. One of my favorite movies, if you haven't seen it, it's been out for a long time, but it's the story of this little boy that starts this movement called Pay It Forward. It just basically acts of kindness to people with, nothing in return other than pay it forward. Do it for somebody else. Guess what? That's what we're doing. So who else would like to ask me a question? And we're stuck at 673. Can we get some more likes, please? Get some more likes. Let's get some more people coming on board. Here's my story, how I lost 40 pounds fast and kept it off for 23 years. No dieting, no calorie counting. Imagine losing 20 pounds in just 18 days, shedding another in 20 in a few weeks, and keeping every single ounce off for 23 straight years without starving or insane workouts. It's not impossible. You're watching it now. You're watching this now. I mean, look at that, everybody. And here I am, 23 years later. Here I am. I don't think I look fat anymore because I'm not. I was. And I was very unhealthy, to be quite honest with you. Very, very unhealthy. So, again, we're still stuck at 673 likes. Come on. All you do is tap your finger on your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever you have, and it records likes if you like the content. I will tell you this. We're the only website that I'm aware of, or anybody on social media, with actual medical proof. I mean, again, I asked in the very beginning, what's a calorie? No one has been able to tell me what the definition of a calorie is, and yet you're all counting calories. Why? Because maybe you want to listen to this. Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. We've been taught that losing weight is this is Harvard Medical School saying this. We've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. Harvard Medical School. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out, when it comes to weight loss, is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did, but they don't have anything to do with Harvard. It's so sad that what we're doing inadvertently to ourselves. Now, let's look at Medicare. Their analysis of these calories in, calories out diets and diets in general. But almost every diet has some form of counting calories, so this will apply. This is from Medicare, everybody. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying this. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. So why is calorie counting failing all of you? Well, let me give you the medical reasons from these, again, the world-class experts. All I got to do is find it here. Bear with me. I got too many papers. Oh, here it is. I'm reading from the medical research. Here's what they're saying about counting calories. I don't want you to believe me. You don't have to believe me. But you believe science, right? So, Celia, I'll tell you in just a moment. So what should we be doing, Connie? It is a measure of energy. No, Connie, I'm sorry, it's not. It's not a measure of energy. You need to, you can Google it, do whatever. Can you answer the questions? Yeah, I'm going to. Give me 1 second. Okay, I want to tell you why counting calories is a complete waste of your time. So the biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. That's why calorie counting is dead. So let's talk about what they did here. Okay, so this was invented, just so you all know, all of you that are being patient, thank you very much, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world who did 40 years of study on every kind of diet, counting calories, period. They found that 2/3 of people on every diet, just like they said in the other report, gained more weight than they lost. And the reason was simple. The diet's centered on counting calories, and your body has no idea what a calorie is. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully, please understand, Connie, but that's not what a calorie is. It's not a measure of energy, okay? So what the researchers said, we're going to abandon calorie counting altogether. We're going to put people on a new nutritional system. That's what this is. It's a nutritional system. It's not meal plans. It's different. They picked out foods specifically, only 30% of what you would consume and she consumed from the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. Very important, because the researchers had picked out foods that had, even though they were lower quantities, they had higher levels of nutrition. But only 30%. The other 70%, and here's what made it work and why no diet, even if you do organic, could ever match this. They found other researchers who've gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they're forming the system. They have the ingredients. Well, what else do they need? They need, okay, how are they going to consume it? This is where the system came into play, because what happened, they utilized all of this, but in a very unique way called protein pacing. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these, they call them the world's most perfect meals. That's breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, the world's most perfect meals. Now, what was significant about that was the pacing of when she ate. They tried doing it, for example, like taking all the nutrition and giving half at lunch and half at dinner. It didn't work. The body responded to this, and they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, on this new way of eating, part of the system. But that's 5 days a week. What about the other 2 days? Now, this is the other part that's going to probably blow your minds. The other days, 2 days a week, I should say, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, she was eating 8 times a day. Yes, every hour and a half. So now they had the system, right? And you notice they started and ended the day, even 5 days a week, with these world's most perfect meals. Why? Because they were supporting the fact that our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. And then you notice on the intermittent nutritional fasting days, no food for the grocery store, because you would be starving to death, because those foods don't have the level of nutrients that these foods around the world did. They had diabetics on this. No one had an insulin spike. People that weighed 300-400 pounds were not hungry. And in a month's time, hunger came down 41% for people. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically in 30 days. And for the first time in history, they measured inflammation, which we all suffer from. It came down 25% in a month. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical proclamations or preventing any diseases. Don't hear me say that. But here's the big one that should really grab all of you. We're all suffering from this new medical syndrome. Everybody on this podcast and everybody in the world. It's called TDOS. T is for toxins. D is for nutritional deficiency. O for being overweight. S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office of a new medical syndrome. Peter Greenlaw. Oh, well, that would be me. I guess I did discover it. But that's not what's important. You have to understand that one of the things that you're complaining to us about is the fact not just how much weight you have, but how much fat. I'm going to explain that to you right now. When your body, we're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals on a daily basis, whether you think you are or not. But when those chemicals enter the body, first presented to the liver, our liver is so overwhelmed, then more toxins come, the liver can't deal with it. So the body's last line of defense is to take the chemical and stuff it inside your visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. Evidence, look at day 1, look at her stomach. Day 30, that's with no exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no anything. Look at, as a matter of fact, most women on this lose a whole dress size in 7 days with no exercise. Now you can exercise, of course, if you want. But the reason the researchers would not exercise, because it would have been an outlier. Then you say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, they didn't exercise at all. This is making every diet obsolete. If you go, right above her head in blue there is the new health conversation. That's the free medical website to go to. If you go there, we won't contact you. But you notice above, free coaching. That's not a joke. We coach you for free. We got coached. You have no idea how to do this without some guidance. And the coaching is 100% free. And the key to this, also, the last part, is not weight loss. It's maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, like it said in the headline, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's the key to this whole thing. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. Not my term. That's what they called it, the researchers. I know it sounds too good to be true. But no diet has ever produced any evidence that it lowers inflammation or removed a gram of toxins from our body. Did you all see the report from about 6 weeks ago? They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, along with herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. Why do you think you have all that, as you call it, jiggly skin? Your body is trying to protect us by the last line of defense is to stuff the chemical in our fat cells. They did, the researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, proving this is detox, this is removing chemicals from, or assisting the body in removing chemicals from the body. That's why she shrank. I'll show you another one. Look at this lady, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at how much she shrank, everybody. We didn't Photoshop it. That's real, with no exercise. I'd love anybody to comment. Well, Connie, I hope I've been answering for you. Oh, those were all previous questions. So I hope that I just went through that. If I didn't, please, anybody stop me. I'm happy to go back over it, explain anything. Here's the simple principle. The researchers, it was a theory, could we give you less food and find foods with maximum amounts of nutrition, which they call nutritional density. But they only relied on 30% of the food from the United States because we know that our food in the United States is becoming more and more nutritionally insufficient. And why this worked, even though they'd done 40 years, they'd always done organic food. But what happened is our food in this country, when you reduce the quantity of food you're doing on any diet, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. When the brain senses that, it freaks out, goes in starvation mode, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cell, and turns to your muscles for energy, slowing down your metabolism, and it slows down your own immune system. So you're literally making yourselves unhealthy by doing this. So I'd love for anybody to give me a comment in the chat. Does it make sense? Do you understand why this is so different and why it's so unique and results? No one's, look, this is my friend's daughter. 60 pounds in 3 months, 60 with no exercise. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Again, look at how much she shrank. We didn't Photoshop any of this, ladies and gentlemen. None, zero. We don't have to because it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. There's no other diet out there with 10. If a diet has a study, it's pitiful. It's pitiful. The results are about maybe a pound a week. That's great. They talk about that. Now let's talk about the shots. I'm not against the shots. We're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics, people morbidly obese. But let's look at the tail of the tape. New England Journal of Medicine. You all can look this up, although it's on our website already for you. The New England Journal of Medicine. Once weekly semaglutide, one of the GLP-1s like Ozempic and Triepazide, etc. It was a 68-week study. And I'm just reading from the study. I'm not even going to make a comment. You tell me. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds. And of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. So 32 pounds, 68 weeks. Wait a minute. She must not have got the memo because she lost 21 pounds in a month. Which one would you choose? Can anybody tell me a diet you've ever seen where you average 5 pounds a week? And this is the reason I like using her is because she only needed to lose 30 pounds and she lost 70% of her weight in just a month. And then she went on, I think it was 7 weeks, she ended up losing her other 9 or 10 pounds, right? So does that make sense to everybody? Because we're still locked on these older comments and we're still only at 674 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen? Come on, everybody, let's get some more taps. Please, please, please. Unless you don't like the content. So Connie, I'd love for you to just Google it. You'll actually be the 10th person in a year, Connie, ever to get, you're even on the right track. Most people won't even make a stab at it as far as what a calorie is. And obviously the reason I bring that up is because that's what everybody's doing on all these diets. And then when you look at the world experts, I think I've got it here somewhere. You should hear what they're saying about calorie counting, not just the New England Journal of Medicine or Harvard Medical School. Oh, here it is. Wait till you hear what they're saying about, this is from the world experts, about calorie counting. The calories in, calories out model is a public health disaster. Adopted by nearly 100% of dieters, yet it drives the obesity apocalypse that threatens to engulf humanity. This is not me saying this. This is from these top researchers. Calories in, calories out near universal failure is undeniable. Studies in the Lancet, the #1 medical journal in the world, in 2021 in obesity reviews, reveal that 50 to 70% of dieters on calories in, calories out diets regain more weight than they lose. driven by metabolic adaptations, notably the surge in ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Ghrelin, which signals hunger to the brain, spikes during calorie restriction, intensifying your cravings and appetite. So essentially what you're doing ghrelin tells you you're hungry. Leptin is another hormone that turns it off. But your ghrelin is wide open because you're not satisfying your body from a nutritional standpoint. The heck with calories. That's what the point they're making. That people are relying on calorie counting and ignoring that your body only cares about nutrition. It doesn't give a darn what a calorie is because it doesn't know what a calorie is. It doesn't count a calorie, and a calorie doesn't produce energy. No, it doesn't. It's just a thing. It's a measurement. That's a clue, Connie. I'd love for you to get it right, and I'd be very excited. So who else would like to ask me a question? So Georgiana, you're still hanging in there. Great. So Celie or Connie or who else is here? Let's see. Did that make sense? Do you understand? Do you all understand? You can go to that website for free, the New Health Conversation. You just go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation. It's going to take you to the website. There's nothing to buy there. It's only the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. You'll see it'll come up here in just a second as it scrolls up on your screen. There's only 4 parts on the website. 1, the exclusive podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. 2 is a more detailed video explanation of what they did every day. 3 are the actual medical studies. And 4, there were more before and afters of some of the people, men and women, who lost 100 pounds. They have no loose skin. Yeah. Now, to give you an idea about no loose skin, this is one of my favorite stories. Look at this lady here. 200 pounds in about a year. She's kept it off. Where's the loose skin? Look at that. That's not Photoshop. She didn't have any surgery of any kind. Now, you might not believe it, but it's real. Well, let's get back down to more normal kind of things. But how many of you would be excited if you could lose 5 pounds in a week? Because normally the norm is what, 1, 2 pounds? Well, 1 pound is probably on average, and that's really, really good. And then those numbers really drop off dramatically over the course of a year. And keep in mind, as I said, Celia, you were asking me what program product. There's no products. It's food. But it's a nutritional system that combines, like I said, 30% of the food from your organic grocery store foods you get a list of. But the key is these other 70% of these nutrients that come from all over the world make this work. They tried it with regular food. It didn't work, even with organic, because our food just doesn't have enough. It'd be like this. If your car, you went to fill up today, let's say, and there were only 2 gas pumps. Pump number 1 is the organic food we have in this country. It says this gallon will take you 1 mile. What the foods from these exotic regions are, it would be pump number 2. It says this gallon will take you 100 miles. That's exactly what made this work. I know it's a silly analogy, but I think it's the only way that I can kind of relate to you what's so different about this. You're not going to go down to Whole Foods, and I buy at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and I'm giving them a plug right now, right? Or Sprouts. But our food in North America is all but nutritionally, I'll be kind, it's nutritionally insufficient at its best day. So when people tell me I'm eating clean and I do organic, do you know there were 200 studies done on organic where they compared organic to regular food? And organic was about 10% more nutrition than regular food. And the reason I eat organic is because it's less polluted, not because it has that much more nutrition. So you're basically, whether you know it or not, even when you think you're eating healthy, you're so short of the mark of where you could be. See, I always tell people, and it makes them mad, and it'll probably make all of you mad, you have no idea how bad you feel right now because you don't understand how good you could feel. I've been doing this 23 years, and I've kept 40 pounds off that I lost in 7 weeks. But my energy, I mean, it's just crazy. My friends are like, they can't believe me. They think like I'm shot out of a cannon. So, well, I don't have anything, and they're not, that's one small part of it, okay? 2 days fasting. Yeah, but Connie, intermittent nutritional fasting, please make that distinction. That's a huge difference. It is not fasting, it's not water fasting, it's not time-restricted eating. Does that make sense? No, Connie, why are you saying it's a calorie deficit? It's based on serving sizes. It has nothing to do with calories. Why would you say that? I mean, if you think that calorie counting is the way to go, then do it. We're not here to dissuade you from whatever you want to do. It's fine with us. All we're telling you is you've heard all the research. The counting calories. It's Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. So why would we give you a program where you're counting calories when we're promoting the fact that you shouldn't be counting calories at all? And no one can even give me the definition of a calorie. Does that make sense? This is about nutrition. It's not about calories. Calories have no nutrition. Let me give you an example about calorie counting for all of you, Connie too. Let's just say we just said to lose weight, we're going to go on 2,000 calories a day. Okay? You got two diets. Diet number one, proteins, fats, carbs, whatever, 2,000 calories. Remember, they're telling you, this is the argument. It's all about calorie deficit to lose weight. Well, the second diet is only 2,000 calories, so they're equal. But the second diet, the 2,000 calories, come from what? 3 bags of M&Ms. This is the insanity of what we're doing. It doesn't work. You think on a diet anyone's ever seen a result like that? Calorie counting, 5 pounds a week and gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle mass? It's never been seen. It's never been seen. So does that make sense, Connie? I don't mean to get so animated, and I'm not mad. I'm just like, I get really passionate about it because we've been so brainwashed. We have about this calories in, calories out thing. And when you've got, I told you, the calories in, calories out model is a public health disaster. These are the researchers of the world saying this. And study after study, I got another big study. Let me read it to you. Hold on, have I got it? Yeah. Why you shouldn't count calories. Listen to this. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. Counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors are known to cause weight gain. Because not you, but in general, people don't understand. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't give a darn about a calorie. It only cares about nutrition. So all this time we've been focusing on calories and ignoring the nutrition. Well, the brain didn't. It's why it turns your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism. And that's why 2/3 of people are gaining back more weight than they lost, if this makes sense to everybody. Does that make sense? So let me make sure I'm clear, okay? So 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. That's the most important thing that I can share with you. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. The researchers figured out that what mattered, they call them eating patterns, that the most efficient way to lose and maintain weight was to, number one, give you enough nutrition that you would never drop below a certain point that would cause the brain to go in starvation mode. So breakfast would be these nutrients, these exotic foods from around the world, okay? Lunch would be either, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables with serving sizes, not calorie counting, please. You can tell it makes me go apoplectic when people talk about calorie counting. Why would we want to count calories when the body has no idea what a calorie is, when the body's need is based on what? Nutrition. So those days, the world's most perfect meal nutritionally from breakfast, lunch from the grocery list, dinner from the grocery list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic or world's most perfect meal. Does that make sense, Connie? So 5 days a week, that's called protein pacing. Now, by the way, this is until you actually lose the weight. Then 2 days a week, no food at all from the grocery store. No proteins, no fats, no carbs. Well, at least from the grocery store. You're still getting proteins on this. But they're coming from these faraway reaches which have nutrient density that no one's ever even dreamed of. As a matter of fact, Connie, some of the nutrients that come from the blue zones, where people live to be 100 years old. That's what I want to be taking, right? Don't you? So on those days, absolutely nothing from the grocery store, but you're having basically these world's most perfect meal 8 times a day, Connie. You're eating every hour and a half. Diabetics, no one had an insulin spike. Nobody was hungry, Connie. Nobody. Because again, it wasn't about the bulk of food we were consuming or anything to do with calories. It was about having the right amount of nutrition, but spread out over about 10 or 12 hours. The researchers tried to do this with regular food. It never worked. Because even with your best intentions going to Whole Foods or going to a farmer's market, we've ruined the soil in North America. We have to face it. Our nutritional values are crashing. That the researchers realize The reason they failed for 40 years, they didn't fail, but all these diets they analyzed. Because see, they didn't create any diets. And this is not a diet. They created this nutrition system. They said, we got to do something drastically different. And that's what they did. Now, again, Connie, part of it is you would get, if you do decide to do it, this is what the researchers put together. It's called the Blueprint for Success. And what it is, each one of these yellows here, by the researchers, they're explaining to you why this is not a diet, why you're doing what you're doing, and why it's so healthy, and the things that they're seeing. It's all free. All the coaching is free. So we don't let you do this and you're just on your own because, again, 50% is, it's a system. So a system is a combination of its parts, right? That's what this is. So if you tried to do this with just food, organic, it wouldn't work. They know, they proved it, it won't work. But it wasn't even the fact, okay, they've got 30% of the food from the grocery store organic and the 70% of these exotic, well, the world's most perfect meals. The key was when they ate, over what period of time, spaced out. I know I know it's a crazy concept for everybody to get, but let me show you something else here that probably will, where is it? I got it? Oh, here it is. So I had the great privilege, I'm going to show everybody, this was on the cover of Women's World magazine, June 9th, about a month ago. I coached both of these women. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, lost 90 pounds in less than a year and they both have kept it off now for 3 years. Notice the magazine, Over 50 Protein Miracle. Guess what it is? Protein pacing. That's what it is. That's what they're talking about. I mean, and this is not an advertisement. This is a news story. I'll show you that too. This is so cool. It's really, really cool. Okay, hold on just a second as I fumble my way through the pages here. Look at this. There's the article. And I know you can still get this online in case you're interested, Connie or anybody else. But you got to understand, when you're on the cover of Women's World magazine, you think they're going to put something on the cover. And the reason that they did it is because of these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. They called it the Over 50 Protein Miracle, but it's protein pacing. You'll read about it in the article. I mean, hello? Is that cool or what? This is so amazing because we're the only people on all of social media with peer-reviewed human trial studies. Everybody else is giving you opinions. That's what they're doing. Whether I don't care if it's a fitness trainer, and all due respect, medical doctors, chiropractors, dietitians, nutritionists, fitness people, weight loss coaches, health coaches. They're all telling you the same thing: calorie deficit, exercise. It doesn't work. I mean, it works until it doesn't. Let's just say that. We're not arguing that you can lose weight on any diet. What we're saying is, though, what kind of weight are you losing? And in the analysis of diet after diet after diet, 25 to 40% of what you lose is lean muscle mass. Period. End of the story. Connie, were you around a little while ago and I read about semaglutide, about one of the GLP-1s in the New England Journal of Medicine? I just want to make sure that you got a chance to hear this. Because as all of you may not know, the GLP-1 is just a low-calorie diet. It works by slowing down the food moving through your digestive tract. So you eat less food. Code word, you get less nutrition. Do you know every single person on the shots, everyone is losing lean muscle mass? Everyone? They're now selling supplements on TV to supplant or help with the shots. Yeah, people are losing weight, but it's the most unhealthy weight you could ever lose, your lean muscle. They're coming off this stuff. They're gaining a half a pound a day, and we're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics, helping people that are morbidly obese. But compared to this, you be the judge. Because they lost 32 pounds in a year. She lost 20 pounds in a month. They lost 40% of lean muscle mass. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. If you knew about it, all of you, and you had the chance to do it, which one would you choose? I'd love for anybody to comment. Which one would you choose? Because, shots, depending on, I've heard, I mean, they can be really, really expensive. But then you still have to eat. Here, let your food be your medicine. That's really that was a long time ago. I think, who said that? Einstein. Somebody said it. But that's really true. But our food, we've lost track. We've produced these enormous amounts. See, people have said we're the most listen to this, we're the most overfed and undernourished society in the world. We're spending 4 times the rest of the world on healthcare, and we're about 100th outcome. The Japanese have 10-year longer lifespans than we do. What are we doing? We're out here, we're the we're the canaries in the coal mine screaming, warning, warning, tsunami's coming. Tsunami's coming. Don't sit on the beach, because you probably won't like the outcome. I mean, when we're looking at, I read it a couple times, and let me find it. I always I want to make sure I always quote from the medical. Oh, here it is. Johns Hopkins Medical School, one of the most prestigious medical schools in the world. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. They went on to say, even more troubling, that's what they said in the study. By 2048, all American adults will become overweight or obese. Do we have to get to 100% to say that diets aren't working, calorie counting? I mean, this is like 550 years ago. The smartest people in the world were telling everybody what? The world's flat. Christopher Columbus was he didn't sail at the end of the earth, he came back. I know there's still people today think the world's flat, and I see all these conspiracy theories that we didn't land on the moon. I don't know. I think we did. But I know this is real. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this over and over every day. We're seeing this. Yeah, protein pacing, Connie. How do I learn how to do the plan? Connie, you go to, do you see it there? The new health conversation? When you go there, because we want you to see the medical proof, Connie, that's it. We don't want to be in a convincing or selling mood. And see right above free coaching. You scroll down, you get a free coach. They'll go over everything with you. You'll get the grocery list to take to the grocery store. They'll show you how to buy directly from those suppliers. You don't buy from us. And then they'll give you your daily, this blueprint for success is what they use. And this is what they gave to the patients in these studies. You get the same exact thing. And you're getting coached for free. Does that make sense? And Connie, to be sure, do you see in blue the new health conversation? Because that's where you go. And I was showing you before, Connie, you go to Google, type in the new, it's important, the new health conversation. And it will take you to the website. We want you, look, we're totally transparent, Connie. We want you to get to see the medical proof first, because we're not here to convince you or sell you. We're here to educate you. And number one, the podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition researcher in the world, it'll blow your mind. There's no way you'll ever count calories again. I promise. I'm not saying you are or were. I'm not implying that. And I want to compliment you for giving a stab at what's a calorie. But you see the problem, Connie? No one knows. Well, there have been 9 people in a year. 9 people in a year. And I'm doing 3 to 4 of these podcasts a day, 7 days a week. So you do the math. 9 people out of all the, because sometimes we'll have, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on these. I mean, the one I did 2 hours ago, we had 27,000 likes. I guess there were a lot of people on there that liked the content. But Connie, my job is not to convince you. My job is to educate you and let you make the decision. The reason we made the website free, why would we charge you for something that we got taught? We were coached. It's really exciting about the change that we're able to impact on the world. No, Connie, thank you very, very much. I just want to make sure you're clear. The new health conversation is where you're going to go, and then scroll down and on that website, right below all those, it says free coaching, and it's free the whole time. There's no gimmicks, no tricks. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that's where the medical proof is, the new health conversation. Would anybody else like to ask me a question? Jewel bug. Wonderful. So, Connie, I'm going to take it a yes that you do know that that's where you can go to get the medical proof and then the free coach, the new health conversation. Yes? And Connie, did I answer that question? So 2 days, what would you eat? Just protein, nuts? No. Again, that's why the coaches will go over all that with you, because they've all done it. There's nobody, a coach, number one, they've done it, they volunteered to coach, and they were trained by us how to coach you. So it's all, so what I would say is, don't try to prejudge this. Don't try to figure it out. There's no nuts involved. There's no nuts at all. It's funny because that's what, people think that you're not alone. I'm not picking on you. I'm being very complimentary that you were brave enough to take a stab at what a calorie is. I don't see anybody else stepping up the plate to do that. I don't know. Am I scary or something? So few people want to comment or get engaged, like I'm going to yell at them or something. If I'm yelling, it's only because I'm passionate and very excited about helping all of you. And I just am really amazed at what kind of misinformation there is out there. This whole thing about what works and what doesn't work. Nothing's working. How could anybody think something works? As a matter of fact, for some of you that are still hanging around, I'm going to show you this picture, and you will think it's photoshopped. It's going to blow your mind. This guy needed 350 pounds. Where do you see this? 75.6 pounds, 64 inches in 50 days. That's basically 7 weeks. Look at that. 75.6 pounds, 64. So you do the math, right? 50 days is 7 weeks. So yeah, he lost about 10 pounds, almost 8-9 pounds a week. Look at his stomach. You think there's any diet like this on the planet? What would it be? I'd love to know. So anyway, I'm going to end this. Actually, I need to go. I got some errands to run, etc. But I've enjoyed being here with all of you. I really appreciate the input, the comments, and I hope all of you will take advantage of the free website, the New Health Conversation, and then you get a free coach. If you don't have to get a coach to find out what's here, but you're not going to do this without a coach because you don't know what to buy, you don't know where to buy it, and we're not selling anything. We don't have any products. There's no products here. No products. It's food. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Connie, I look forward to you discovering what's possible. Okay? Thanks, everybody.